In a tropic of crabs, what bad shorts and high socks did you wear as you wiped blood from your finger, cut by the claw of four-armed guns that clutched back at the tides of the only sea that would sway them? That crab the Greeks used to give cancer its name, how it spread sideways out like fingers outwards. Carcanos, Hippocrates called it, that could only be treated with a cauterized tool called the fire drill. My name's Chris McCabe, and my new book's called The Triumph of Cancer. So the book documents my own experience of my father having cancer. He died of cancer over 10 years ago, so it includes elegies for him and other more famous people in the culture who've died of cancer. It also explores the overlap and the hinterlands between poetry and science, and particularly poetic language and scientific language. So it attempts in places to push language to map and to mirror and to somehow reflect what happens in the body when cancer attacks it. One of the ways I was thinking about the poems in this book quite usefully for me was through Gerard Manley Hopkins' phrase inscape, which is the way he looked at the natural world to identify the kind of uniqueness that each living thing has within it. And that's really important in poetry, because that uniqueness that is within us all allows us to express very differently and uniquely. And Hopkins was an absolute individual when it came to poetic style. So I was interested in his extension of his ideas of inscape into form. So he developed his own rhythms, for example, counterpoint rhythm and sprung rhythm. And you know, these forms move away from conventional poetry and are quite closely aligned in some way with the idea of the mutation of cells, the idea of the poem as a living, breathing kind of organic object in itself that almost continues to grow between every reading. And Hopkins really, for me, showed me ways of writing poems that could continue to live and kind of be different every time you looked at them. When my dad went through cancer, and it was cancer of the brain. It was very slow and torturous process and difficult process for everyone, particularly for him. The last thing to leave him pretty much was a sense of humour, and that's even after language had left him. He found ways of connecting with us, through his kind of innate humour and wit. I think I wanted to get that into the poems. Actually, I thought. It'd be a challenge, but I thought, if I can if I can write a poem about cancer that makes me laugh, then hopefully it might make other people laugh as well. So that was one of the kind of aims of the book. The summer's elastic starched. You laughed, saying you're fine. It's a nick. As we watched the reddened fleck break and ask, "Can we keep it, Dad?" We asked and asked. As you put the crab back, the crab you always put back.